Well, Zeus said, I suppose Aphrodite could stay in the net. Zeus! Hera chided. She didn't like Aphrodite, but she also didn't approve of goddesses being imprisoned. All right, Zeus said. Hephaestus can have the dowry back. Aphrodite's officially kicked out of Hephaestus's life. Like she was ever in it, Hephaestus muttered. Poseidon still looked troubled. Despite his past differences with Ares, the two of them usually got along okay. He felt like he should speak up for the war god since no one else would. You need to let Ares go too, Poseidon said. It's only right. Right? Hephaestus bellowed. He made me a fool in my own bedroom, and you want to talk about right? Look, Poseidon said, I get it, but ask any price to settle the debt. I'll personally vouch for Ares. He will pay it. Ares made a whimpering sound, but he didn't dare object. The golden net was really starting to chafe his delicate skin. All right, Hephaestus said. If Poseidon guarantees payment, I'm good with that. I want 100 wagon loads of the best armor, weapons, and war spoils from Ares' fortress, and I get to pick the stuff. That was a punishing price, because Ares loved his spoils of war, but he nodded in agreement. Hephaestus let the two lovers go. As he expected, the story got told and retold around the Olympian dining table for centuries, so Ares and Aphrodite were the butt of everybody's jokes. Aphrodite and Hephaestus never lived together again. Were they technically divorced? I don't know, but it's not like they were ever married or in anything but name anyway. Afterward, Hephaestus felt free to have relationships with other women. He had kids with a lot of them. Also, from then on, he only hated the children Aphrodite and Ares had together, even if they didn't deserve it. Case in point, Harmonia. I mentioned her before. She was the minor goddess who became immortal and married the king Cadmus, and later they both got turned into snakes. As if that wasn't enough bad luck for one lifetime, Harmonia also got cursed wedding presents from Hephaestus. He hated her because she was a constant reminder of Aphrodite's affair with Ares. Not like that was Harmonia's fault, but hey, even the nicer gods like Hephaestus could be jerks. When Harmonia married Cadmus, Hephaestus made her a golden necklace as a wedding present. It was the most beautiful piece of jewelry you can imagine, all dripping with precious jewels and delicate golden lace, but it was also hexed with some serious juju. It brought bad luck to Harmonia, which is kind of obvious since she got turned into a snake, but it also got passed down to her descendants. Everyone who wore that necklace for generations had some horrible tragedy happen to them. We won't go into details, but it shows you that Hephaestus had a dark side. If you ever find one of his necklaces, be sure to check the engraving. If it says, "Congratulations, Harmonia," throw that thing away. After Aphrodite, Hephaestus' first rebound relationship was with this goddess named Agalia. She was one of the Charities, and by charity, I don't mean Goodwill or the Salvation Army. The Charities were the three divine sisters in charge of grace and pleasure. They served as Aphrodite's handmaidens, so it must have really irritated Aphrodite when Hephaestus started dating one of them. Like, yeah, I dumped you, and I'm going out with your handmaiding. Deal with it. Anyway, Hephaestus and Agalia had several godly daughters. Then Hephaestus dated a bunch of mortal princesses and had a slew of demigod kids who became kings of this or that Greek city. He even had a fling with a nymph named Etna, who was the goddess of Mount Etna over in Sicily. If you're keeping track, that's the mountain Zeus used to smash Typhoeus, the storm giant. I'm not sure why Hephaestus wanted to date a slightly smashed mountain nymph, but they had some children together called Pelochiae, who were the spirits of hot springs and geysers. If you ever go to Yellowstone Park to see Old Faithful doing his thing, be sure to yell, "Hephaestus says hello! Call your dad more often, you bum!" Hephaestus' most interesting kids were twin boys that he had with a sea nymph named Caballero. They were called the Caberii, after their mother, but their real names were Alcon and Irmiridian. And no, you'll not have to remember that for the test. If your teacher says different, your teacher is wrong. The Caberii were a lot like Hephaestus, meaning they were good at metalwork and incredibly ugly. Sometimes they're described as dwarfs, though maybe they just look small next to their dad. They would help out around his forges in Lemnos and even go to war in his name. Once they rode east with Dionysus when he marched to India. Then they got in trouble and Hephaestus had to rescue them. You didn't know that the wine god had declared war on India? Sure, we'll get to that in a bit. But right now, I feel like some poetry. You like poetry? No? Well, too bad. Apollo's getting impatient. He wants me to write this next chapter, and since he's the coolest Olympian god ever, even if he does say so himself, you can only put off the Golden Boy for so long.